Hey everybody, and welcome back to Abit Specials. Right, carrying on with the old DT. As you can see, I've started to reassemble it. I didn't film all of this bit just because it's a bit of a slow process. I'm painting things as I'm going, so it's taken me a couple of hours just to fit the wheels, stuff like that, just because they needed cleaning up before they went back on. Got a few more jobs to do now, so I'm bringing you along for the ride. So let's get going. Right, so it's just cleaning up all the little bits and pieces to give them a splash of paint, fit them back on the bike. So, got the old foot pegs here, so there's one already started to clean up, got another one to do, already started to clean up rear foot peg bracket, got that one to clean up. So, wire wheel, grinder, job's done. You don't need to see it all. See you in a minute. Got the old foot pegs and brackets on the clothesline. Best place to hang them up. Give them a quick coat of black. So while these are drying, I will move on and start cleaning up something else. Right, so that is the bracket for the radiator. No, it's not. That is the bracket for the two-stroke bottle and the horn. Just going to clean these up next and give them a paint of black. Right, so I appreciate this is all still in the same video for you guys, but this is probably about 3 weeks later since the last clips you've just seen, and I've done a bit more on the bike. So what you haven't seen is I cleaned up the cleaned up and repainted the handlebars and reassembled those and put on some new grips. So I've got the headlight back on and I've built the front up a bit more. And what else is new? So I think we just painted these, didn't we? So they're on, the foot pegs. And cleaned up the kickstand and put that back on. And I've also started doing the wiring, so as much as the wiring is on and plugged in as it can be at the moment. So we're moving on to the exhaust. So we're cleaning this up now and I'm going to give this a new coat of paint. Right, so clean it all up as best I can with the wire wheel, get all the flaky rust off, and I've gone around with thinners just to clean all the dust off it, get all the grease off it, so now I can give it a coat of high temperature paint. Right, so I'm using some very high temperature paint, good for 500 degrees C, so see how good it is. Doesn't require any primer, just straight onto the bare steel. Right, so next I'm going to be putting the power valve cables back on. If you don't know what a power valve is, it's this on the side of the engine. So basically on the end of this sort of pulley there is a valve in the exhaust port that opens and closes and varies the size of the exhaust port to give you low down torque and high end power at the same time, and it's controlled by a servo motor here, as you can see. Now that motor is got cables on it which go down and rotate this pulley at the same time. Now these cables are slightly different lengths, so that's the front pulley, that's the rear pulley. On here you've got a number 1, and you can't probably see, but there's a number 2 there, and a 2 there, and a 1 there. So unlike most things, it's not 1 to 1 and 2 to 2, it's 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. So let's install these cables. Now it should be fairly simple. These are brand new cables, not the old ones. I did have Yamaha Dtr cables on there before, because they have the same setup, but they're a lot longer, so I'm guessing the servo is quite a bit further away from the engine than on a DT. So these top bits hook into there, but first thread the bottom in, because that's threaded into this little housing. And then poke the cable through. That into that. Feed the bottom of the cable into its seat, like so. Same with this one. Now these cables are different part numbers, so you've got to make sure you don't get them mixed up, but the longer one goes on the front. And for some reason it has this big nasty kink in it, but that's just the way it is. I'm sorry, I said the longer one goes on the front. The longer one goes on the rear, not the front, because I've already tried it that way around, and that's how I realised it goes the other way. Try and get that in there, which isn't very easy. It still doesn't help. I'm wondering if it's easier to put the cable in the top first, in the top last, you know. I can't get it in the bottom. Let's try threading in the bottom first. No, I wouldn't say that was any easy. Right, I think I'll have to take the power valve pulley off. Now there is a small hole in there to lock it into place. But that doesn't fit in. But a small Allen key should do. So a 4mm Allen key seems to be the perfect size for that. Just one bolt holds the power valve fully on. Hopefully that should give enough slack to turn that one back.
So much more, only been an hour?
Yeah, only been an hour.
Okay.
People. Noisy bastards. Right. Just been told off. So that's the power valve's rest position, which is the exhaust port open. Now there is a bit of adjustment on that, so you need to make sure you've got the exhaust port inside there, sat flush with the inside of the exhaust. And then using the cables, I'm supposed to adjust it. So by adjusting these, you sort of rotate this around. It's very tight, so I put its new cables possibly. Put the bolt back in first. Sorry if I'm in the way, but I need to see. If I shine a light in there. Show you what's going on. Hopefully you can see that there's a sort of, you know, there's a timing mark kind of thing. A notch in that and a hole in the back. It's not quite lined up yet. If I adjust this cable out some more, that's applied tension on both of those. That's lined up pretty well. Can't keep the GoPro in the shadow, but should be able to put the Allen key in, which I can. That lines up alright. Just check the exhaust port on the inside. It's nice and flush. Getting it like that. I keep my thumb up the exhaust port just to make sure it doesn't turn as I'm trying to tighten it up. It's only got to be tight enough to grip it. That looks to be lined up pretty good to me. Yeah, that's spot on. I'll try to show you in the exhaust port what's going on. Can we see up there? We can. So if I turn the ignition on, you should see the valve close over and uncover again. So that's that. And then so once you've got it adjusted up right, wind down the locking things. Seems weird that you don't adjust that one, but it is quite normal. You only ever really adjust that one once the cables are stretched a bit. So that is that. Lift them up. And job done. Right, so that's your lot today. I'll catch you again next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
What?